Alright, not much to say about this workout itself, other than it was essentially a copy of the previous night. The gym was at capacity again, so there was no reason to try and get in a full session. Just stripped it down to the core basics, the deadlift, the squat, and the handstand, and waiting for better days. What probably this gives me an opportunity to talk about is how I feel that my approach to training is actually very beneficial in situations like this. Because I come in every day, there is much more flexibility in my approach that allows me to adjust my volume accordingly to what the environment presents. So on a day like this, yes, I won't be able to do much isolation work. I won't be able to do some dips, do some pull-ups, fine. But I believe that every session, every workout should have a core number of movements, of exercises that people really want to get in. And then some other stuff that you put towards the end that could be skipped if the situation required. But what if someone was to skip the entire session? I remember last week the gym was actually so busy that there was a line to get in. So what were my options then? I could have stayed in line, get inside, struggled to get my workout in, do the basic stuff, probably not being able to focus much. Or I could have just turned around and gone back home, which is something that I saw quite a few people doing. They came in and they saw the line and they said, you know what, I cannot be bothered, I'll just come in the next day. And some people have the flexibility to be able to say, it's okay, I have 2 days in between my upper, lower sessions or my full body sessions 3 times a week. And so I'll just push one day onto the next one. And that may be possible for some, but is that good in terms of programming? You have selected certain days in a week because the amount of volume that you do on those days probably only allows you to recover optimally within 2 days. So you're already pushing your recovery window forward and you may not be able to recover fully. This is just one issue, and it may not be as big of a deal, but still it is something to consider. And do this often enough, you may be too tired to get in a worthy session when the time comes. What actually is the option that I chose was to come in and do a limited amount of work, which still amounted to some appreciable volume and intensity on the stuff that I am focusing on improving at the moment, and to cut down on the accessory stuff. And what is accessory is an arbitrary judgment that everybody makes according to their programming. This was my case, and I decided to stick to the big three, my big three. And since I don't think that meaningful progress can be gauged from one session to another, it's not really a big deal if someone misses a session. It's what I'm saying. What I still think is the better choice is to convince yourself that something that is not optimal is not to be discounted. And so it makes an appreciable difference over time because everything adds up. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of time, and equal volume spread over a longer time is just going to achieve the same result in a different time frame. But what this helps out a lot with is building mental strength, and it trains you to make a decision that is uncomfortable in the moment, but is actually going to form your mentality going forward. And this is something that I am struggling sometimes with, but if there is one thing that I've learned is that struggle is the name of the game. Ciao.